All right, everybody, this is Claire at StudentRDH and Dentaltoaster CE courses. Today we have an amazing guest. I've known Susan for only, to be honest, a short period of time, but I know her heart is huge. That's why I wanted to invite her to be with us today. So let me tell you a little bit about Susan, okay? She's awesome, first of all, but she's very passionate about oral health and particularly oral cancer. She's the owner of what's called Oral Cancer Consulting, works as an integrative dental hygienist, and serves on the Oral Cancer Foundation RDH Advisory Board, and is also advisory member of the HPV Free Colorado. And Susan serves as the oral cancer screening coordinator at the Colorado Mission of Mercy and many other places. And I personally know how passionate she is about the topic of oral cancer, and she speaks internationally, okay? You can see her this summer at RDH Under One Roof. She was also the 2018 recipient of Sunstar RDH Award. Like, this is a huge award, something that only, I think, 3 hygienists get every year. And she has also received the Colorado Dental Hygienist Association's Outstanding Contribution Award. Besides that, you know, Susan really just is passionate about sharing anything she has, and today she's going to share her journey related to insurance. I know we're not talking about oral cancer, but we can also talk about oral cancer if that's a topic that interests our members over here. So welcome, Susan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Claire. And you are amazing. What you do is amazing. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for having me on with you today. It's an honor and a privilege.
You know, the reason why I asked Susan to be, or you to be here, is because, as I say, I know you have a heart. It's not like because people have knowledge in the world that they can share it. You have to have the heart in order to share what you know. Yes, so that's the feeling I got when I first met you. That's almost a year. No, that's not a year ago. That's not a year ago.
Yeah, it was this past fall.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So today we have some specific topics that I want to touch upon, which are insurances. And the reason why is because when I graduated dental hygiene school, I have no clue about, do I need liability, disability insurance, how much they are, when do I even need them when I start working? And I think that's a really important topic because I heard some stories that people get injured, they get saved by having some sort of insurance, or they just are very disappointed because they didn't have insurance and now they're on their own to find a new career or something like that. So just to prevent from, you know, those unfortunate instances, I thought it would be really nice time to talk about this when our students are graduating. And for those who are already practicing, this is always a good topic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Susan, I know you were, so you're going to be honest with us, and I really thank you for that. So can you walk us through, first of all, your experiences? I know you had some sort of story that brought you to talk about this topic.
Right, sure. So I've been a dental hygienist for 25 years, and about 2 years ago, I fell at work. And it was just what you would think not a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. My foot got caught in one of the cords to the hand pieces, and I fell. Mm-hmm. So brushed yourself off, you know, right. Going your day. However, I ended up injured to the point where I can no longer, long story short, I can no longer sit and do clinical hygiene with my head tilted down for an extended period of time. Just causes severe pain. I'm in constant pain with my neck, but when I try to do even just a simple prophy, it causes extreme pain in my neck. Okay. So I'm no longer able to do clinical hygiene. Mm-hmm. And it came from what appeared to be a simple, you know, not a big deal fall.
Right.
And so when I graduated from dental hygiene school in 1994, someone said to me, you need to get disability insurance because you never know what could happen. So I did purchase disability insurance.
Oh,
Fortunately,
wow.
I got it that first year right out of dental hygiene school. And then where I was working, I'm no longer there anymore because I can't, where I fell, I can't do hygiene. But they had disability insurance there also. And I had purchased disability insurance through them too.
Okay. So wait, you had two disability insurances?
Yes, so I had the two coverages.
Okay.
Right? So, and that's something really important to know is the difference between having disability at work and having disability insurance on your own.
Oh, yes, let's talk about it. Let's dive into why are they different?
Right, I found out a lot. I learned a lot through this process and just really want to help hygienists understand. So when you purchase disability insurance on your own, you can take that with you wherever you go. Okay. Where you change jobs, it just goes with you.
Right.
If you purchase disability insurance through work, say you work for a big well-known dental company or through a DSO, you know, which are like, you know, the many dental office companies that we know, it doesn't always go with you.
Okay.
And the term is portable.
Ooh,
is the insurance that you've purchased portable? So what that means is if you leave that job, can you take that coverage with you? A lot of times, not always, but a lot of times it doesn't go with you. So,
I see.
Right. So say you're right out of hygiene school.
Okay.
And you go to work for a big company and you purchase disability insurance through them. And you stay there 10 years and you leave. Does that disability insurance go with you? Sometimes not.
Okay.
And that's what I found out with the coverage I had at work. It was not portable. So it didn't go with me.
All right. So yeah, I'm sharing right now the screen with one of the cards that you made, and it says right here portability. So that's something really important to have. Okay.
Right. So when you're purchasing disability at work, that's one big question you want to ask them. Is it portable? Will that go with me? And even if they tell you it does, call the insurance company and ask them.
Okay, good point.
Because that's what happened to me is the HR person at work told me it was portable. However, it was not when I contacted the insurance company.
That is crazy. You thought it was. They told you it was.
Or told me it was. It wasn't.
There it is. It wasn't. Okay, that sounds pretty terrible. Okay, so
well,
anybody?
It's really important to know. Yeah.
Okay, I really love this point because language is actually, I love that you put some language together because language is something we have to get in order to ask the right questions. Like when you go to a car dealership, if you don't know, you know, any of the terms, what a leasing is, you know, obviously it's not going to go that well. So thanks for sharing some terminologies.
Right.
So you had this one that was not portable, you thought was portable, and when it got injured, what happened?
Well, so I wasn't able to use that disability insurance at all. Okay. But fortunately, I had purchased right out of dental hygiene school disability insurance that I've always had.
Okay.
And so I have coverage with that.
I see. So luckily you were saved by the other one. It was like your cushion that you had for no good reason until then.
Yep, that's right. And so some important things to know when you're looking at disability is, again, terminology. You want to look at own, you want to purchase disability that says own occupation.
Okay.
So that means that covers you for dental hygiene. If for any reason you are not able to perform dental hygiene, but you're able to do something else, you're still covered.
Okay, so can I recap here? So you trip working in the dental hygiene office. When you said own occupation, does that mean that you're covered if you're not able to perform hygiene at all? That's
Right.
what you're saying, right? But you can still teach or write a book or something else, right?
Yes. Yes. Or you could go work at Starbucks, or you could do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Own
Okay.
occupation covers dental hygiene, or
Okay.
whatever other any occupation that you may be doing. If you're not able to do that occupation,
Okay.
when you're injured, you're covered.
Okay, we have portability, we have own occupation. Awesome.
So
So you had yours with your own occupation.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And that was one thing that I really had a good insurance agent. Looking back on it, he said this, because 25 years ago, I didn't know anything about it. So it's really important that you have a good insurance agent who can really help you find the best insurance policy.
Yeah, so that sounds like a challenge of its own.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll touch about that later, but so that was your experience. Okay, walk us through now when you had to claim it with, the one that you had out of dental hygiene school. What was the process like?
You have to gather your medical information from doctors. Each insurance will probably have similar things that you need to gather, similar information like dates of injury, all of that information. So you'll need to have that to fill out your insurance form. And what I would recommend, what I did is I went back to the insurance agent that I purchased the policy from, and I had him sit with me to fill it out. So it was filled out accurately, because there were things he said, no, you don't need to put that, or yes, include that. So I would say have assistance when you're filling out your claim.
Okay. Because you can get rejected, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. It's like, mortgage. You can get rejected. Some people on the other end looks at what happens and make sure you get all the information ready to go.
Exactly. So yeah, have that expert.
Okay. And did that include like testimonials from other people? I mean, obviously you tripped. Did anybody see that happening?
No, it didn't. I didn't need that information. They really just want the doctors that you've seen for your injury, when it happened, the dates, if you ever are injured, make what I can say is make a log of everything. That's really important. Just like we do in our chart notes. Documentation is important.
I see.
So just document everything.
Okay. But I have one question here is that, so you fell and you didn't feel like that was affecting your work until later, or did you feel it immediately?
Oh, it was immediately.
Okay.
So I fell, and so I saw my first patient. That was a pretty simple patient. And yeah, I was in pain. My next patient that I saw was a scale and root plane. And 15 minutes into the scale and root plane, I knew I was in trouble. I was in severe pain.
Oh, wow. Okay. Even one fall can affect us like that. That's
it was
good message.
Yeah.
Okay. And now tell us about how long it took to ask for the insurance, fill out the paperwork, get through whoever needs to look at it, and get actually something out of it.
Well, I'm still waiting. Yeah. So my injury was, I filed my disability papers 2 months ago. So what I'm waiting on is there's a form that a doctor needs to fill out. And I'm waiting for that doctor to fill out that form.
I see.
So it's a process. It really is. So I stopped by that doctor's office yesterday to ask them, where he is and getting that filled out, and he hasn't come out yet.
Okay, okay.
So it's
It's
you
a
have
long process.
it's a process, and you have
Okay.
to stay persistent with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that, first of all, it's a great idea to have insurance. And Susan and I, just by disclaimer, we're not affiliated with any insurance company. We're not here to sell you anything. I cannot
no,
even, I mean, I have some names just from personal experience, but we're really not here to tell you buy this insurance or go talk to this person because they make commission. All right. We're
right.
really here just to advocate for all of our safety, our career safety. And, we all need to make a living somehow. We have a family, anything that you have, we need to protect that. And one way is disability. Now, can you tell us how much a disability insurance was?
My disability has been $95 a month.
Okay. And that was when you graduated dental hygiene school?
Right.
Okay.
So your what you pay monthly for disability can vary based on a lot of different things, your age, your health at the time that you purchase it.
Okay.
Another important term is elimination period. That can determine what you pay. So elimination period is like a deductible, and you can often choose what you want that elimination period to be. And what that is how long after your injury and you file for your disability will you have to wait before you get paid.
Oh, I see. So it's
Right.
like if your elimination period is 6 months, you got injured anyhow, you need to wait 6 months.
Right.
Yeah, that okay.
And so what I've looked at a few things, and California Dental Hygiene Association has disability insurance where if you're a member there, you can purchase it.
Okay.
What I saw on there, and that's not to say anything bad, because looking at their insurance coverage, it's great. Their elimination period is 365 days.
Holy cow, you wait a whole year to be paid something.
Right. So you need to plan for that. If you do, but that could be any insurance, not just that one. There are other insurances that have a year elimination period, have 60 days, 90 days.
Okay. So that depends on the insurance. So I think one thing we have to consider when we look at insurance is the elimination period and saying, how does that fit into my lifestyle? It's not because this one's a little cheaper that's better. If I really want that to kick in within a year, then maybe I'm going to go for something else.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, love it. I'm so learning so much. I'm actually learning more from you than I learned from like people telling me. Like there are agents out there, they're trying to sell you insurances, and I think I never really got a great feel about it because every time I feel like they just want to sell me.
Right.
And I felt like, okay, I don't want to listen to you. Like I kind of shut myself down. But I love this conversation. I'm learning so much. Awesome. Elimination period, we covered that one.
Yeah. So make sure if you choose a longer elimination period that you have a savings.
Okay.
And one thing I want to say about injuries, I did some research, and the main cause of somebody using, and that's anybody, not just hygiene, but people in general having to use disability insurance is not so much injuries, it's more sickness or illness.
Oh, I see.
However, as dental hygienists and even assistants, simple things could keep us from doing our job.
I see. Okay.
So
great. And one thing you mentioned about the California Dental Hygiene Association when you talked about it was that they have great coverage. And can you walk us through like what that means to have great coverage?
Well, they had a couple of different plans that you could choose from. And I don't have all the specifics in front of me. We could put up a link, but had a couple of different plans that varied by the amount you wanted to choose for coverage. Say how much you thought you would need per month.
Okay.
So just there's a lot of different things that go into that, but they did have some great options. And also what you want to look at is what was listed on there was benefit period. So what age does this policy pay up to and for how long?
I see.
So like my policy that I have will pay me for 5 years.
Okay.
And up to age 65.
Okay.
There are some that will pay an indefinite number of years up to 65 or 67. It's usually when somebody can start to take, their Social Security benefits.
Okay.
It's typically when they will end. So there's just a variety of things that go into that benefit period.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm just assuming me and anybody else, it will be very confusing. It's like a cart. Okay. Do you want this feature? Like, do you want this? Like, there's just so many things.
Right.
Are there main things that you think we should look at from your personal experience?
Yeah. It's these that I put on here.
Okay.
Important things. Those are the big ones that we want to look at.
Okay.
When looking at insurance.
I see. So why don't I go back to the cards that you provided? Maybe we can just go through the list of like what it means to have this term and that. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to pull this one. Important terms, you said not occupational, own occupation. We already covered that. It means if you're a hygienist, you can be covered when you cannot perform dental hygiene anymore, but you can still write, you can still find a new second career. We actually have a lot of other careers in our lives. Like, and Susan, you have your own now, you're a specialist in oral cancer. So that's amazing. Right. So the other one is non-cancelable. What does that mean?
That means that they can't cancel your policy for any reason. There are, and again, you have to get into specifics with each policy you're looking at.
Okay.
Some can cancel after a few injuries or, just a lot of different things that they would be able to cancel for. So you want to look for non-cancelable.
Okay.
It will continue to cover you no matter what.
Okay. All right. So then the next one we have in the image is elimination period. So we talked about that. Is that if I can sum it, that's when it's going to end.
Well, no.
No. How long you wait?
How long you have to wait before you receive
yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry, I got confused with those are, because that elimination period to me doesn't sound like what we described.
Right.
Yeah, it's confusing. Okay. It means how long you have to wait. Okay.
Right, to receive your benefit.
Okay. Now, benefit period you talked about is that for 5 years, 10 years, 65 years old, all of that.
Right.
And then benefit amount, percentage of gross pay. What does that mean?
So benefit amount is, will you receive 60% of your gross pay? Will you receive 70%? Just how much of, I've not seen any that pay 100% of your gross pay. There may be some out there, but in my research, I haven't seen any.
Okay.
And that was one thing that was really great about the California policy is you could choose different benefit amounts.
I see.
And one thing about purchasing disability insurance at work versus having disability insurance on your own directly reflects on this benefit amount.
Okay.
So if you purchase disability insurance on your own, when you receive that monthly payment, say it's $2,000, it's not taxable. You receive that and it's yours, you're not taxed on it. However, if you purchase disability through work and they pay that for you, it is taxable.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. One of the later question I had was, how is it different from having the company pay for your insurance? But I guess, it's great if a company does that for you, but that doesn't give you all the protection that you could have.
Right. So you may end up after taxes, if your benefit amount says you'll receive 60% of your gross pay after taxes, depending on what those are, it could be 30 or 40% of your gross pay.
I see. All right.
So that's an important thing to consider.
I see. Okay. I think I understand. So let's say let's say we all shoot for the stars, we're making 100K, and if it's 60%, you're getting 60K. If it's your own, it's not taxable. If it's the company's paying you 60K, it's like getting a salary, there's taxes coming out of that.
Yes.
Awesome. I get it. Thank you so much for clearing that up. And now the last term we have on this sheet is portability. And, on the chat, please let me know if you see the sheet correctly. Okay, I'm sharing this the screen right now. If you can, let me know. Okay, so last term we have is portability. We talked about that, saying you can take it from one office to another, and not just offices. Does that also... whether you're working in a clinical setting, in a school setting, or, in a different nonprofit organization, that's okay, right?
Right. And then that would also go back to own occupation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So those kind of tie in there with you if it's going to cover you, whatever occupation you're doing.
Okay.
And then the other one that's on there
is partial
or residual benefits.
Uh-huh.
So what that refers to is, say you're injured, you're working maybe 5 days a week dental hygiene, but you can only now work 3.
Okay.
Will they pay you for those 2 days that you can't work?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you've been totally out, say you're working 5 days a week, you were injured, you couldn't work at all, but now you're back to the point where you can work maybe 2 or 3 days a week. Will they continue to pay you for only being able to work part-time? So those are some important things to look at.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, I understand that concept now. Wow, there's so many things we're covering. Susan, how did you learn all those terms?
I just did research because after what happened to me, I was like, wow, I didn't know what I didn't know about this.
Okay.
and I wanted to know so I could help other hygienists understand.
Amazing.
Because I'm like, wow, I can no longer do clinical hygiene. I'm so grateful I had that insurance.
Right.
And I don't know yet if it'll pay, but I'm sure it will. There's just sitting with my insurance agent. He's like, you can't even do your job. So he said, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
And,
so you just came with experience, right? You were just thrown out there to do it. You mastered it on your own. And thank you so much for sharing. I love having this topic, especially again when the students are graduating. We have a lot of new grads in StudentRDH and the Real RDH Life and Dentaltoaster. And, I would hate for anybody to be injured and to have to let go of this career and not being, in a position to feel comfortable about it. If you're forced out of the profession without having a plan, yeah, it's going to be tough.
Right. So, well, and it could be, Claire, a few years ago, I fell and I broke a bone in my hand and I couldn't do dental hygiene, and I was in clinical hygiene. I couldn't work for 4 months.
Wow.
So fortunately, I had that disability insurance that paid for that.
Wow, it did.
I mean, we could break one finger or sprain a finger. You know what I mean? It's just not that it's going to happen, but gosh, be prepared.
Okay.
We purchase a house and we have insurance to cover because we've made an investment, right? When we buy a car, we have insurance because we've invested. Well, look at how we've invested in ourselves, in our dental hygiene career.
I see.
So
That is so true. It's an investment we did. So much hard work, love.
exactly.
Ah,
Protect
okay,
that
right.
investment.
Okay.
It's what it's about.
So
And what
Susan, you broke this thing again by just doing something else. It just happened?
it I don't even want to tell the story. It was silly.
Hey, injuries happen the silliest way. Like
Yeah.
you
You
never
know,
know.
I fell in the garage.
In your garage.
Yeah.
In
And
your own garage.
and it sounds like, wow, she falls all the time, but
I know. That's what it sounds.
I grew up an athlete, so I really
Oh,
am,
you're not okay.
so I'm really not clumsy.
Okay, okay. You have that instinct already,
Yeah,
but even with you
happens.
that happens.
Stuff
Okay,
happens. And
okay, okay.
Claire, I wanted to bring up one thing because
Mhm,
ADHA
mhm,
offers disability insurance if you're
mhm.
a member of the
Okay,
American Dental Hygiene Association,
okay.
and they've got a great disability
Okay.
plan that they cover. However,
Okay.
I looked at that,
Okay.
and I want to tell you something about it.
Ooh, I loved investigating.
Yeah,
Tell us.
there are states that are not. So here in Colorado, if
Okay.
being a hygienist in Colorado, I cannot purchase that insurance.
What? Why
There,
is that?
I called and asked. It's because each state has their own laws on what a policy needs to have in it.
Oh,
And,
interesting.
and for whatever reason, I don't know the specifics with Colorado, why
Mm-hmm.
they won't accept this disability insurance, but ADHA cannot sell it to dental hygienists
Really?
because they won't be covered. And there's a few other states. So
Uh-huh.
it's Colorado,
Okay.
Idaho,
Ooh.
Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
Montana,
Mm-hmm.
New Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
New York,
Mm-hmm.
Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
South Dakota,
Mm-hmm.
Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Vermont, and
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia. So it's nothing bad about ADHA
Okay.
disability plan. It's
All
a
right.
good plan. It's just that those states
Mm.
won't recognize it and accept it
I see. I see.
because
Wow,
of
that
their
is
specific laws.
all right. Okay.
Isn't
Thanks
it
so much for
interesting?
sharing that. So just if and I know a lot of people are part of the ADHA. Anyhow, there is this disability that you can purchase, but if you are from, those about 10 states that you mentioned, which include Colorado, Idaho, Montana, you said another M, I forgot what it is. New York, anyhow, all of those you might need to get your own or call someone else to get your own because the offer from ADHA is not valid anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know. Oh my God. This is so much information. I don't know anybody we had in the chat are from any of those states. I think we had an Idaho over here
We
with
had a
our chat.
Montana.
Montana. Yeah, let's see, Montana right there. Maryland as well, you know. Anyhow, be careful about that. Okay, so we have a few questions. Is that okay if we ask those,
Yeah.
Susan? Okay, so Charlie's asking, would you recommend always having both your disability and work disability if they offer it?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. There's
Yeah.
no harm in that?
There's no harm in that at all.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is what I'm going to tell you about work disability.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in my case,
Mm-hmm.
I went to HR
Mm-hmm.
and asked if this was portable, and they said yes.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, you don't need to worry about applying for this disability
Right.
before you leave here. You
Mm-hmm.
can do that after.
Okay.
That wasn't the case. I needed to apply for that disability before my last day
Mm-hmm.
because of my injury. Now, where I worked was great. They said, we're so sorry that you can't do clinical hygiene. You know, we're going to give you 10 days before your last day.
Okay.
And so that's why I went to HR to ask them about all of my coverages to see what was portable and what wasn't.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if I would have had correct information from them, I could have applied for that disability also.
All right. So the lesson here is that, of course, you can get it. And I'm assuming in that case, like, okay, sorry. I have a question related to that before I get into the other part. So for, let's say, like, this one pays 60%, this one pays 60%, that's over 100% at the end of the day. Do those two insurance companies kind of look at each other and say, like, we're not going to pay all this?
Good question. So yeah, the disability insurance I had at work, they would have done that. They would have looked at other things coming in, and that amount would have been reduced. So yeah, it's not like you're going to have both.
Right.
Depending on wordage and how it's set out. Yeah, so you're not going to be making 200 times your income.
All right, I'm sure. Yeah, they can't. The insurance company are nice, but not that nice. I mean,
that's right.
They're nice. So, okay.
That was a good question, Claire.
All right. So yeah, but before you leave that work, if work pay for your insurance, you claim it before you leave work. That's the point.
Yep.
And Susan asked a question, they answered it. Regardless, just do your own research as well, because they might have the wrong information. They might not know what they're talking about. Or maybe they had a private insurance that was that and they got confused. I mean, it's human error as well sometimes. Okay, do your own. Thank you so much. We have a few questions. Anna is asking me, does the disability insurance work for someone temping with an irregular schedule? Do they just have you estimate your monthly pay? I love it.
Well, that's a really great question. Gosh, I don't really have the answer for that. That's a good question. I will find that out. I will ask my insurance agent.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
we will post it.
Yeah, and if you can send that to me, Claire.
Yeah, I will capture it right now. And we're recording as well anyways. I'm going to make myself a little note right now on my notepad. And we're going to make sure to answer that. Anna, stay tuned. Okay, Anna, if you're here, can you put me your email address so I have it? So when I have to email you, I don't have to dig through all the hundreds of emails. That would be awesome.
That was a great question. Thank you for answering.
Right. So any more questions we have, I can take them right now, or we can continue with our awesome chat. I'm learning so much. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, I have your email address now. Thank you. And Shelly would also love this answer. So what I'm going to do basically is we have this recording. Susan is going to come back to us. I'm going to write an email to all of you with the answer because I think it's a really good question.
It is.
And do you like your agent, Susan?
I do.
Ooh.
I do. Yes.
Should we share that with whoever is in Colorado?
Yeah, let me ask him and make sure. And one thing I'm going to put out there, if it's okay, it's a little plug for myself, because what I decided to do, Claire, I'm going to get my license to sell disability insurance.
Ooh, love it.
I am, because and it's to focus on for dental hygienists and dental assistants too.
Oh my God.
You know, that's where we get our passion, right? Your why are usually things like this that happen. I just want hygienists to be prepared.
Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know if there are other, I guess, insurance agents that are from, like yourself being a dental hygienist, because that's amazing. I think you can help all of us, and I can't wait for that. How long would that take, Susan?
I don't know yet, Claire.
We're on the right track at least, and let us know. I would love to share this information if it comes from you. And again, I know you have only the nicest heart and knowledge. I mean, see all the digging you have done for yourself and for others. I'm sure you're gonna you're gonna do great on this. I love it.
Well, it's
on
just
top of your oral cancer.
Yeah, it's just to help people, right?
Okay.
make a difference. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. And everybody's actually, I'm getting chats right now. Everybody wants the answer to that. And, you know, because I feel like all of us do temping to a certain degree, and I do too, because I do a lot of businesses and I can't stay put in one of offices. It's like never possible. So I'm like, oh, one day here, like one day. And, you know, that's why I do it. And, you know, when it comes to that, how do they even measure how much you're making?
Right.
Okay.
I think that's a great question. Really
Awesome.
good. We'll find that out.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here. You did all this. But okay, so let me talk. Okay, I think we actually covered all the terminologies you had on the sheet, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, okay, awesome. Now, you know, there are still a few questions that are in my head and that I kind of collected from previous students and new grads. And would you mind if I just throw them at you?
Sure.
Okay. So disability between the difference between disability and liability, because I remember when I graduated, and I mean I did my own research just because I have family members that are in the dental industry. My sister's a dentist too, so I was shopping. I was doing the work for her because she was too busy studying. Okay, so anyhow, I met with agents, and again, I didn't learn as much. Like I didn't never feel that it was an honest conversation. That's why I love it today. Anyhow, my whole point is, I didn't even know what the difference between was liability and disability. So we all talked about disability so far, right? It's like you get disabled for some reason, tripping, surfing like I did, and freaking got some stitches over here, things like that. That's disability. You cannot work, and how are you going to make a living? Now, liability is a total different thing, right?
Right. Liability protects us from the risk of liabilities that are imposed on us from lawsuits.
I see.
So if something happens to a patient or the patient perceives something happens to them, and
okay,
they're a lawyer and a lawsuit ensues. That's what liability is for.
I see. And do you think a dental hygienist should get liability insurance?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I know. Well, think about all that we do. You know, we're doing so much and we are liable for so much. Now, there are a lot of businesses that say, that I've heard hygienists say, oh, they told me that the dentist liability will cover me, so I don't need to purchase liability insurance.
Right, right.
And so I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not as up on that as I am the disability. However, in questioning some lawyer friends of mine, they have said, whose ever name is on that liability insurance, namely the dentist, that's who they will protect.
Okay. Oh.
Right?
Oh, okay. So it's like a big like light bulb moment for me right now. I froze in my own head right now. Okay.
So it may cover employees. I don't know that. Again, you know, it may depend on verbiage. But really, you think about any insurance anywhere, who do they cover? They cover the person whose name is on that insurance policy.
Okay, okay.
First, right?
Got it.
You don't know, it may be that policy has employees, but you don't know to what extent, you don't know to what amount.
Okay.
And, you know, there's liability insurance through ADHA too. And I've had that for years. I think it's Mercer. And it's a great insurance.
Okay.
And it looks like we have a lot of people temping. So I know when I get my insurance through them, you have to look at, are you employed somewhere or are you temping?
Right.
That will determine what liability insurance also. And I know with my company, with my business, I need a different liability coverage for that also.
Right. Yeah, that's a very different. Okay, so what I really got is you have to have liability. First of all, that was the whole some of the point. Because again, in this profession, we are healthcare, we're getting there. I mean, so many things can happen. Contamination to not being able to screen oral cancer properly and being liable for that. You know, that's where Susan comes in and teach us how to really do this. And you're gonna have an amazing session at the Under One Roof. And you speak all over the place now. That's amazing. So go to Susan course. So that was the second message. And the third message would be check really like if even if the office says they cover it, does that really cover you or not? Maybe you can call the agent or call someone, get a third party opinion, because it seems like when you're going to get in trouble, you might not be really covered.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh.
Again, it's being an advocate for yourself. Find out exactly if they say you're covered. Are you really, and to what extent, and to what amount?
Okay. Awesome. So, you know, I know all dentists get liability insurance. Like that's 100%, because I mean, they are always in the threat of being sued. Hygienists, I feel like the word is not really out there that we need to get liability insurance, but we really need to really get on that. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much for sharing.
And in my CE course on oral cancer, there are some liabilities that could possibly happen to us in the scope of oral cancer too.
Definitely.
Not screening properly, not following up adequately.
Yeah, not charting properly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we have a more question from Rachel, and thank you for posting it. She said, regarding this liability insurance, even if the dentist coverage did cover you while you're at work, if it wouldn't cover you if something happened while you were volunteering or temping.
Right.
Rachel, I hope you got your answer. So it's really only within that one practice that you were working that day you're supposed to work for, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but if you have your own, would that kind of be portable? That's what I'm assuming.
Yes, if it's yours, it's yours wherever you go.
Great. So that answers Shelly's question right here, because she asked, is liability portable? Awesome. Now we have another question from Shelly. Is ADHA liability covers Allstate? Or
I don't know that. That's a good question. I didn't look into that.
Okay. And Shelly, I would just really go there and see what it provides. It could be similar to, you know, the disability. I can understand that every state has a different scope of practice. Like it's very, you know, I wish we were all unified so it's easier. However, because of that, I understand the difficulty having making like one, like, you know, offer and offering everywhere. So Shelly, please check that. And then Rachel said, also, does liability mostly cover things that happen like an injury to patient, or does it also cover things like failing to diagnose periodontal disease or not charting something properly?
Well, it's liability. It covers anything that you could be sued for.
Right. Awesome.
So any of those things.
Thanks. Shelly says thanks.
But again, like we talked about with disability, really look at the verbiage and what it's saying it does cover.
Okay.
That's important.
Awesome. Can we talk about money for like a little bit? I know our webinar is about to end in about 10 minutes, but so we have, let's say about $1,000 we spent on disability. Liability, is it something similar, another $1,000?
You know, I pay a lump sum when I renew my liability, and I think it's because I have a more extensive coverage. Gosh, I think I paid $230 or $270 a year.
$230. For liability.
Yeah, it's around $230, and I just paid it, so I know it's around $230 or $270.
Okay.
And that's to cover you for a lot.
Okay, so here I'm going to do a very bad math. I'm going to say $1,500 for the whole year to cover you for disability and liability. Does that sound okay to you, Susan? $1,500 per year.
But again, it depends on, like with your disability, what are you opting for in your disability? Because here's some things that go into how much a disability policy will cost you. I can't say this enough, get it while you're young and while you're healthy.
It's cheaper that way, right?
Yes, yes.
Much cheaper.
While you're young and healthy, like right out of hygiene school.
Yes.
So that plays into how much it is.
Yep.
And how much coverage you want and how long you're willing to wait before your payments start. Those are all some things that go into how much that is.
Okay. So it can be a range from like $1,000 to $2,000 depending on those things. Okay.
Right. But how much did we pay for our hygiene education?
That's like one kit of like instrument, you know.
Right. And how much are we making? How much is our income? So look at it, that's really not
that great, that much. Yeah.
You're investing in yourself.
Okay. So quickly, I'm going to do the math again. It's about, let's say, a little over $100, like $120 or something to cover yourself for someday injury happens and you cannot work and you still need to collect that income. And second, just in case someone sues you for anything, there are a lot of crazy suits out there. So protect yourself from that. Only $120, that's a pair of designer brand jeans. We can do that. Right?
Yeah, maybe $120 a month. Yeah.
All right. That's a cost of having some drinks and a dinner as well. Like we can do that. That would be my message.
Yes. Yep.
That's a lot of coffee, but you know, I mean, the thing we buy in the world, you know, to make us, you know,
well, if it's Starbucks, that's not a whole lot, right?
Right. Yeah. But if I think, I mean, it was like for sales already. I bought another sweater that was like $70. So if I bought two, that's there to cover myself. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So can I take any more questions at this point? We have just, 8 minutes or so to go. And I love the interaction we had with our members here from Shelly. I actually remember some of the email address such as Marisa, sorry. Marisa, when I saw your email, I recognize you because I know we did some email back and forth. Okay, so just let me know if you have any more questions, and I would toss that to Susan. And Susan, I would really encourage you to continue that path of being, an agent, because you will really come from that nice place to help others.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's just our heart as hygienists, right? I think that's why we get into dental hygiene. We have a heart for others, and it doesn't stop when we leave the operatory.
Yes. Susan, can we quickly ask more about your business now? Because, I would love to throw that out there.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
So it is called, you reinvented the Cotten method. Can we quickly talk about that?
Yeah, so the Cotten method of screening is, yes, it covers the intraoral and the extraoral visual palpation, and I go into some specifics on how to properly screen and assess the thyroid and the oropharynx, just a lot of different things that I've learned over the years from the experts I've worked with. But the Cotten method really is a whole office system of screening.
Okay.
It starts with the health history, updating the health history, asking those pertinent questions that we need to be asking now, especially because of HPV. There are what appear to be benign signs and symptoms that we need to be asking about. So have we updated our health history? And it takes a team. Really in dentistry, everything takes a team. So the whole team in the office should be educated on oral cancer and HPV. So when we bring Mrs. Jones up to the front office and we say, Mrs. Jones needs to come back in 2 weeks for a follow-up on this lesion. And Mrs. Jones says, after we walk away, come on. It's just a little sore in my mouth. I don't want to schedule this appointment. Then the front office, because they're educated, they can say, Mrs. Jones, and they can reiterate what we've already told her. Yes, it's very important that you come back for this appointment. And here's the way. Yeah, and the dental assistant, so important. And then it's documentation,
Yep.
referrals. It covers, the Cotten method covers everything
I
that
see.
an office should be doing.
Ooh, so now you talk about the Cotten method when you speak, right? Have done
Right.
many speaking.
Right.
Okay. And I'm just pulling up your website. Can anybody see this right now? It's called oralcancerconsulting.com. Very simple, oralcancerconsulting.com. And we have Susan, last name Cotten, Cotten. So here you can see the Cotten method, and there's an awesome little, as you can see, it's really just about everything. It's not just, oh, let me show you how to palpate, those areas. It's really how do you get the whole picture of everything you have to know to be safe as, as a dental professional, protect yourself, but really do good for the patient.
Right. And I go into dental offices and I'll educate the entire team, and I'll get the dentists and the hygienists synchronized on their screenings.
Ooh, amazing.
Because we should be synchronized on our screenings. Just like everybody we probe, there's a specific way to probe. So we're getting the same measurements. The hygienists and dentists need to be synchronized on their screenings.
Amazing. And yeah, those are the, you go to schools as well and educate the students about it. And here's a magazine of RDH magazine. You are the recipient of the Sunstar Award.
Yeah, that was an honor.
Yeah, I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah, that was
only 4 people get it per year, like that, because this is about people who make changes, and you obviously did. So congratulations again. I know it's been a year since that almost, but it's still a big deal. So anybody go check out Oral Cancer Consulting. Do you also consult like in different parts of the country? You focus right now in Colorado?
Oh, anywhere. I'll go
anywhere. Okay, so if anybody needs anything from Susan about oral cancer screening, maybe is this the best place to go to the website and they say contact us?
Or they can go to my Facebook page. I have Susan Cotten RDH Oral Cancer Consulting on Facebook. They can either way they can contact me. I'll go to their component meetings, their state association meetings.
I love it.
Your office. Yeah.
All right. Ooh, I love all the things that are brewing for you. I mean, this is obviously going really well, and I love the messaging. We all need this. And, thanks so much for sharing your wisdom on disability and liability. This has been huge for me. I hope our listeners, our viewers learn at least a few things, here, and get to save a little bit just so we can be protected. Now, if you have questions, again, I'm going to post it again on Facebook, and I'm going to send an email to everybody and put it on Dentaltoaster and everywhere I can to spread the message. We're going to get one answer back from Susan, which is about temping. How do you kind of adjust your salary to that? And otherwise, I'm going to also post the vocabulary Susan talked about so we can all become familiar with those.
Yeah.
This has been an amazing educational session. Thanks for elevating our new grads and our existing hygienists so we can all be more comfortable and be proud and be efficient in what we do.
Yeah, thank you for all you do, Claire. Your webinars are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan from Colorado. And we're going to continue with our webinar series, many more things to come. So stay tuned. And again, check out Susan on her website and also our Facebook page. And when she speaks, go to her and tell her, hey, I saw you on the webinar. Go shake her hand. And I'm sure she has more wisdom to share. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Claire.
All right. And Dominic says she's very excited and she thanks everybody. Shelly is also saying, I love the webinar, super helpful. She says, thank you. So is Rachel and Shelly. So everybody here had a great time.
Yeah. Thank you, Claire. What you're doing for hygienists and new hygienists, really, it's amazing.
Awesome.
You are amazing. Thank you.
All right, everybody. And Susan, see you soon again.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Alex says bye.